to know that yes, you're already with us and for us this week again. This is where we look into everything critical, frank conversations about public good, especially this great nation called Nigeria, sometimes beyond the shores of our great nation, Nigeria. And we are ready. We know you are too. Again, I am Femi Ojo. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Very well. How was the weekend?
It was okay. A little bit stressful, but it was okay.
That works. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And today is the 20th day in the new year. Yeah. Just like yesterday we started.
Yeah, that's right. Many persons have been saying maybe this year appears to be moving faster than what we are used to. We know scientifically that's not true, but then it seems that, okay, it was just like 2 days ago that we were shouting Happy New Year and Happy New Month. Now it's the 20th day in the new month. Sorry, in the new year. It's a year new again, but then it is what it is.
Well, it's still new. Actually, I have to say that the thoughts or the speculations about January being 90 days
that really is from the point of spending.
Yeah, from the point of spending. But somehow, I just wake up and today is 20th.
Actually, from the point of any, that's why you think it's longer, especially for salary earners.
Yeah,
that's it. For people that make money every day, I'm not sure they
like
care.
Those that go home with something every day, like
artisans, hustlers, businessmen, and all of those. Right. But people that wait for 30 days to earn something.
The salary came before Christmas last year, so you have to wait till the end of this.
If your salary didn't come before Christmas last year, most of people watching us will say their boss is a bad boss. Yeah, but now your salary was approved before 25th, possibly 23rd or 24th, and you are happy. Now, we are used to that. In your adult life, you should know how to plan around this period.
I miss the baby time, actually, when we used to just call, Mommy, I need money,
you have transcended that. You are the one young people, siblings will be asking, cousins, friends, Alfana, Afisi, Ogen 2K, 3K, and all of those things. But you're welcome back. There's this glow on you today.
Really?
What's going on?
It's good though. I don't know if there's anything going on.
Normal Nigeria, deflecting kind of statement, but it's okay. That works as well.
Right. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the 20th day of this new year. I am Uzom Sekechiko, and it's really good to be back here. I'm sure you missed me, and I'm sure that Femi Ojo did a lot of good work, great work last week. He's always good at that. So welcome to Monday, the first day of the new week of our morning spring edition. So
all right, thank you. Let me be petty this morning.
Okay.
There is a way you say that. Femi Ojo did a lot of whatever. What does it take you to look at me and say, well done, instead of passing a general comment?
Really? Wait, you just came in not quite long. So
no. You just said it on air right
now. I should have turned. Oh, I'm so sorry. Femi Ojo, you did a great work.
Please
you said I should talk to the viewers. Okay, Chief Femi Ojo, is that okay?
No, you don't point the chief in the face.
Oh my God.
Just let it go. How can you look at a high chief?
Sorry.
And you point at a high chief? No. You don't do salute. You do like this. Yes, you take it.
Oh my Lord. Chief Femi Ojo.
Thank you.
You did a great work.
Thank you very much. But that's on a lighter note. Today it's 20th of January, 2025. This is 20th of January now. For people in the US, they are about to cross into the 20th, of course, because we are like 5-6 hours ahead of them. So possibly they are still on January 19th today. But in a couple of hours from now, Donald Trump will be inaugurated again as the president
of the US,
of the United States of America. God's own country. Trust us to be on that matter as well. But for people that might say, how does it concern us? We're talking about the US here. We know the significance of the leadership of whoever is in charge. There are some policies that affect the world globally because these are the superpowers. Take it or leave it. And so he has been president before. He wanted to be president again. He was denied by the American people. Now he gave it a shot again, and he is president-elect. In a few hours, the world will converge. Many of them have already converged, touched down already. Many world leaders will be there on invitation, by the way, and all eyes will be on, the Capitol for the inauguration of Donald J. Trump in his second term as president of the United States. We will look into that in the course of the program. What does it mean? His presidency, the leadership, the U.S. take back his pride of place, or, further strengthen, rather, his leadership in the world. And if there is any lesson, because one thing is here before we go on this break. Yeah. The election that produced Donald Trump, especially at this time, the campaigns were quite, intense and fierce and controversial, all of those things. But since the election happened, I've not heard anybody talk about tribunal in the U.S. That's the way it is, especially at this time. Right. Nobody has gone to court. No one has everybody, the government has moved on. The governance, the politicians, everybody. If you have been re-elected, fine. If you have not been re-elected, you are ready for your transition, and the wheel of governance has moved on. Today, Donald J. Trump will be inaugurated, ceteris paribus. And of course, there is no appeal court somewhere, federal high court somewhere, Although the last election that produced Donald Trump, or, that produced Joe Biden, rather, in which Donald Trump lost. Trump was a bit petty around that. In fact, he alleged I was robbed and all of those shenanigans at the end of the day. But there is a system that cut him into size. No matter how big you think you are, there is a system in place. Although there might be controversies and all of this, no system is perfect anywhere in the world. But my point is, today, in a few hours, it will not be inaugurated. There is no dangling case of election on his neck or on his government. He has his personal issues with the law and court. Robbery. When do we get to that point in which nobody will say, I've been robbed? The judiciary is this, the INEC or whatever electoral body is this, the police were this, the transporters were that, and then everybody can just move on. Like they have moved on, like forever. Same thing happened in Ghana. I was going to bring that up. I was like, it seems like even with the fact that Mahama was actually someone that came up the last time, he wanted to compete, or he competed and he lost, and somehow he's back. It's the same thing with Trump right now, and we've had peace from these both countries. Less than 2 days election result was announced. Everybody has back and forth with I was robbed. I was supposed to be the counter allegations and all the rest. So I think Nigeria, we really need to do a lot on this aspect. I agree, and that is part of what we are going to be looking at as well in the first leg of the conversation. The other leg, you know what they say about this? Keep your fingers crossed. You don't want to miss any part of that. We'll go on this quick break. When we return, we delve straight right into what the papers have for us. Good morning. All right, I will be kickstarting today's newspaper segment from The Punch. The Punch newspaper. NLC faults fresh petrol price hike, says a federal government insensitive. NLC faults fresh petrol price hike, says a federal government insensitive. With riders, Labour fears hike with fuel food crisis. Increase in line with rising crude price. Dangote increase in line with rising crude price. 2-3 weeks ago, there seems to be some reduction in fuel on price, but now there is an increase again, and the reason has been attributed to the increase with the rising crude price in the international market. That's coming from Dangote. And below that, you have the picture of Gaza. UN others chair as freed Israelis reunite with families. Wow. More than how many months ago now? Like 14 months in captivity. October 7, 2023 to January 19, 2025. in abductors den. That's an experience nobody wants to have.
Right.
Actually.
Like you don't even want to think about it. Just
at all.
Staying away from your house or being okay, maybe during the road trip and somehow you encounter these guys and then you run into the bush for like 2 days. You know how it feels to talk of being abducted
just
for
overnight.
for months.
But as a result of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, brokered by almost everybody in the world,
right?
And it has produced some of the conditions were that the hostages will be freed. And maybe it will be done in tranches. And, we have the first set right now. You could see a woman, taking a picture, looking nice and smiling. And you see below that somebody being hugged, possibly by a relative or by a loved one, being held like a baby.
Yes.
And, of course, the other side of that, a motorcade that has people, jubilating and raising their hands. It's good to know, and we hope it stays this way.
Right.
And we don't have, a reoccurrence of that violence. Again, Gaza, UN, others cheer as freed Israelis reunite with families. Just as I said, most wars, even on the global stage, ends on the table. Jaw after the war. And here, 89,000 Nigerians denied Schengen visa in 2 years. As a report, 89,000 Nigerians denied Schengen visa in 2 years. 89,000. That means 89,000 Nigerians have attempted to leave the country. That is not the only 89. Those that have been denied are the ones we are talking about. And so, and they have to pay for that. You pay for visa application.
Of course.
Even if it is $100 you're paying, that means $100 in 89,000 places. That's millions of naira gone, because it's not refundable. And these are some of the issues as well. And Catholic Church suspends Delta priest over secret U.S. wedding. You know what they say about wonders not ending? A Catholic priest getting married, secretly in the U.S. actually. For what purpose? That's the question. Is it that priest want to japa and he needs an escape route? By the way, but the fact that the wedding was even done in the U.S. means he has japped already.
Of course, that's not...
to what end?
Well,
he can easily, I think there is a leeway if you think you can no more cope with the demands of being a priest.
Yes.
Because for you to be a priest in the Anglican Church, you must remain unmarried. You are married to your calling and Jesus, which is fine. Now, at the moment, possibly your biology, your mentality or whatever, you want to have a change of mind, is allowed. Just walk up to the authority and let them know I think that's more honorable.
Well, he did that. Actually, it's a Catholic church. It's an Anglican. I'm sure you missed it.
Catholic church, yeah. Catholic church.
Well, he did that. He wrote to the bishop of his diocese.
Okay.
But he didn't wait for the response. He didn't wait for them to respond. He wrote in November.
Which is very important.
I think he wrote in November and he got married in December. And it was the body.
Hush.
Yeah, the body was like, the body of the church is saying it was already planned before he started writing.
Yeah.
So he already had everything planned out.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
You can't resign in November and you are getting married in December. Wow.
Well,
we are humans after all. But then, what they say about doing things rightly, actually. Yeah. The one will say, and some person might want to side with the establishment, with the church, to say, maybe that's true. If actually you can no more cope with this, there is a way you have written, wait for your response, and then move on with the rest of it. I'm sure the church authority, the parishioners, some people who love them, if actually he has waited for that response, will have even wished him well.
Of course,
to say,
been a great support.
You are a honorable, especially you are a honorable man. We wish you all the best. But then, just like I said, we are humans after all. But that's not explaining irresponsibility away. Here, Eric Air shareholders tackle AMCON over 455 billion naira debt claim. Top strip, Labour Party crisis OB. Otis caretaker panel drags Abure before Supreme Court. So much for this party that wants to be the opposition party, the main opposition party, and I'm talking about the Labour Party. They have said they are ready to play opposition, but they are not ready to be a party. That's the issue. Although all the political parties, almost all of them
I was going to say that, like, why is there a problem recently? Like, since APC got into power, there's been back and forth in different. PDP has been fighting. Labour Party, the same thing.
Even APC had their own issues.
Right.
I'm not sure it's an APC. It's always a political thing, because especially when they are not in power.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
At the national, there are issues. Everybody wants to have it. Even the party in power, everybody has their issues. And that's it. But for a party like the Labour Party, in which some persons, their supporters, are seen as the third force, as the alternative, they have hardly had peace since after the elections, actually. And it's about the leadership of the party. Mass deportation fear, border closure as Trump returns to the White House. We look into that today. And of course, he will make his policies known. Some of his politics, some of his policies. One is inaugurated. We have his, his presidential speech, and people will wait for, the direction as it unfolds. And now, Edo Tribunal, police tighten security as violence rises. Needless, by the way. Niger explosion. Tinubu, Buhari, others mourn as death toll hit 86.
Yeah, I saw that last night. It was really crazy. The feeling was, I was like, what again? How? I mean, a tanker falls down and people are scooping fuel.
We are back at that point again.
Nigerians. Okay.
I'm sure just before last year, we had something similar like this.
Right.
The middle of last year, we had something similar. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, tomorrow, if a tanker falls, you still see some irresponsible and criminal element. And you know the explanation, poverty, which I'm not sure is the only reason again. Really,
is poverty enough for you to lose your life?
To die in a very gruesome manner. Because many of them you will not be able to recognize.
Right.
I'm not blaming
80 persons were buried in a mass grave.
Of course, because nobody will be able to identify anybody.
Given to their families. So it's nothing like, okay, the governor has come out to talk about the roads and everything. That aside. But then
that's
you
one of
see
the factors.
Danger and you're moving to it.
That's it. It's a different thing when the tanker falls and those persons are helpless. Possibly they are caught in the middle of the road or in a queue, trapped. That's the word. But for you that will look at the tanker that has fallen and you think you can make sharp money, gains, some of them will go for the first time, they will return. At that point, it's no more poverty. It is just irresponsibility and greed and recklessness. Poverty is always a part, but it's not the only reason. That's the point I'm making here.
Right.
Poverty can be blamed for 100% of how people just behave abnormally.
Of course,
it's not the only reason.
It's one of the factors.
It can be a trigger.
Right. Yeah. It's one of the factors. And imagine a family that you start sending all your children, carry this gallon, and the entire family is gone.
Get wiped out.
What's the game?
It's a sad one.
It's really sad.
And we hope we can do better. Because yes, just like we said, poverty can be a trigger because there are some things that some persons will not do, if not because they are vulnerable. Right. But then we should not only
attribute it to that.
To move march every time. That'll be all from the Punch.
And from the Punch, we move to the Nigerian Tribune this morning. You have tax reform bills. Knocks, kudos, trail governor's proposal. Tax reform bills. Knocks, kudos, trail governor's proposal. And the riders there. Experts say NGF's decision doesn't fully address long-term physical sustainability, fairness issues. And we also have only removed political obstacles to the reform. Deviation should be up to 50 to 60%, they say. Decision splits leaders, groups. CUPP, Afenifere, Ndume, Okorie, Northern Coalition speak. Okay, and we have a picture there of Ekiti State Governor Mr. Biodun Oyibanji with the injured firefighter, Higher Superintendent Osho Oluwashola, during a visit to his residence in Ado-Ekiti on Sunday to appreciate him for his heroic act during the recent fire incident at a filling station in the state. Okay, this is a good one. At least when you appreciate people, they do more.
Yeah, right.
So we have 2025 budget. NAS queries ghost projects in steel ministry. 2025 budget. NAS queries ghost projects in steel ministry. And the writers there calls for independent forensic audit of expenditure. Also, federal government still looking for $2 billion to revamp Ajaokuta steel firm. Minister. Gunmen kill Celestial Church prophet during service in Ogun. You have police in Ondo bust children trafficking syndicate, rescue 14 children in Anambra. You know, when I saw the story yesterday, they abduct children from Ondo and some other western states, and they sell them for 500,000 in Anambra State. I'm like, imagine someone, most of these people that you see, that there's a particular group I follow, and you're always saying missing, a child missing, a child was taken. And there was a particular one I saw, that was last year, November. I saw that the child was missing as at 2024 January, and up to that November, the child had not been found. Now, some parents already, I'm sure they've already felt like, okay, this child is probably dead.
Well, it doesn't feel that way because there's no closure.
Yes.
No parents, they will always be hoping.
Yeah, they'll be hoping that one day
there's no hope.
The child might come back. But then they will also have that feeling like this child might be dead. But sometimes it's more like these children have been abducted. Either they are sold to outside the country
child
for
trafficking.
Child trafficking, exactly. Or they're sold to ritualists. Because I don't like how people sit down comfortably and plot evil in their minds. That's what I still wonder.
A human mind is capable of doing anything. It depends on what you choose to do.
Right.
You know, like a popular
it's all
movie,
about decision.
I can do bad all by myself. That's one movie. And when you flip it, I can do good
all by myself.
So it depends on the choice we'll make. So obviously that's the work of a cartel or a syndicate there who abduct people. They have people who work for them,
right?
Arrange them in a particular place and take them for whatever use, which is criminal and wicked in all form.
Very, very wicked. You take someone's child after 9 months or how many months of stress and training the child, going through pregnancy, rigorous processes and everything, and then birth this child, and somehow you abduct this child to be sold for 500,000 naira.
It's wickedness. Even if it's for 1 billion naira, it's still wickedness.
Of course, no amount of money equates a human life.
Right.
Okay, we continue. We move. We have the ex-First Bank GMD, Onasanya, refutes allegations, vows to defend reputation. Okay. Global oil prices behind hike in petrol price. Dangote refinery. I wouldn't want to talk about this because I presume this kind of thing when I was saying the reduction in fuel prices during the Yuletide season. No, let's just leave it at that till we get more info. Diezani distances itself from ownership of repatriated $52.8 million loot.
Okay, no.
Okay. CBN, NCC, DMBs reach agreement on 200 billion naira telco fees debt. Should you notice that somehow we've actually been cut off from the USSD code via banks?
Some banks.
Yeah, some banks actually.
Yeah, maybe your bank was caught in that way. Your bank is
two banks.
Your banks are debtors.
The banks I bank with, both of them, I couldn't actually do anything with my USSD.
I had to switch to your applications.
That is it. Imagine I was so lost, but like I didn't know I'd run out of data, and I tried to use the USSD and I couldn't. And now I need data to access my app.
Yes, you do.
Like it was crazy yesterday. I had to just call my sister. I was like, please, just help me. Like I'm lost right now.
And I'm sure, that will hamper some person's business, some person's communications, transactions rather, because there are persons that don't use smartphones or they use the other phone, and they just do it. And many of them are not even aware, like you weren't aware until yesterday. And these are some of the, imagine people in rural areas who are not aware, and so they don't have access to this service right now. Some of them, even till today is the official working day. There are so many transactions that some persons might have been trying this money and it's not going through, and it hampers their business. Possibly they will make a loss. It might cause breach of trust between individuals and all of those things, or corporate organizations.
Yeah.
Now, who pays that particular cost? The customer in all of this. And this is a high time we begin to sue and counter-sue anybody. Yes, because you are not owing as a person, and you think you have this service covered because you will do whatever you are supposed to do, and all of a sudden the 44 naira that these banks have been collecting from you, they have not been remitting it to the telcos, and the NCC told the telcos withdraw that services from those banks. So that means, I don't want to say who they are, but that means they are debtors. In Yoruba, they call it your bank. They are owing.
My banks, actually.
And all of those banks, they are owing. You are making money as a bank, but you can't remit.
You can't remit
to telcos.
It's actually, like he said,
whatever it is, shame on them.
It's actually sad, because imagine those that do not have this smartphones, like you said, they are going to be lost.
Some persons are not even aware. Some persons want to try something. Imagine somebody that have promised person by Monday morning 8 a.m. I will do the transaction, and they take their, the ones who call small phones, and they want to try it, and everything is not going through. And it can cause breach of trust, because if the two camps involved are not aware,
especially if the other person on the other end, his own is still working, and you'll be like, you're just playing me, you're trying to play fast one on me.
That person's bank own is still working. And your bank, people like you, your bank, they are debtors. They should hide their face in shame. And these are the banks that at the end of the day, by December, they will be declaring billions of naira in profit.
In profit, yeah.
Ordinary telco funds, you can't remit. Your bank, they are debtors. I don't know them.
Okay, now we'll go to the top strip of the Nigerian Tribune. We have death toll in Niger. Niger tanker fire rises to 86. And the rider there, 80 victims given mass burial, 55 injured. Tinubu governors, others mourn. You already talked about this. This is really a sad one. And Nigerians kick against fresh move to float another national carrier. And the last story this morning, even as we're going to be flying all the way from here to the US, we have Trump takes office today as 47th US president. Yes, that will be all on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
From the Nigerian Tribune, we move to the Guardian. The Guardian for today. Forces over checks, balances as federal government enforces council autonomy and funding. Forces over checks, balances as federal government enforces council autonomy and funding. You can see the pictures of critical stakeholders there: the president, the CJN, the AGF, Mr. President of the Senate, and a gentleman there. Moving on, Rubarunu Ndume, CDWR, resist tax reform bills. Again, Rubarunu Ndume, CDWR, resist tax reform bills. Newspaper 3 has that. And gunmen assassinate cleric during church service in Ogun. Fortunate incident there. Yeah. Gunmen assassinate cleric during church service in Ogun. What kind of barbarism is that? To kill is terrible enough. Now to kill a cleric while service is going on, sad. And Soludo unveils Anambra Homeland Security Law and new outfit. All right, and below that you have some men there: Yomi Anyoko, Remi Okunola, Karim Onosode, Chief Emeka Anyoko, Chief Mrs. Olubumi Anyoko, Essay Onosode, some persons, in the company of revered elder statesman and former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Sir Emeka Anyoko. And here, Africa's economy at crossroads. As Trump's second coming stokes uncertainty, we get to see in the coming hours or days. And telecom subscribers kick as Minister Defense tariff hike. Yeah, another thing is, are you aware that tariff has been hiked, actually, especially on data service? I've
been experiencing it, so I'm just...
What more can the government do to Uzums? They have hiked your tariff. Now your bank is owing telcos and you can't even access them. So much for being in Nigeria.
Right.
All right. And procurement. Contract frauds account for 90% of Nigeria's corruption cases. Procurement, contract frauds account for 90% of Nigeria's corruption cases. That will be all from The Guardian.
Okay, from The Guardian, we'll move to the Daily Trust. This morning, we have Obasanjo Buhari testify in Paris court. Okay, we have $6 billion Mambila power contract deal. And then we have Obasanjo Buhari testify in Paris court. Now we have a picture there of the tragic incident in Niger State there.
Right.
Which has here Niger tanker explosion, 86 buried, 43 hospitalized, others missing. And we have other riders, one lost 6 relatives. Similar incidents killed 265 in 4 months. Federal government. Okay.
Fortunate.
Very unfortunate and
very
sad.
Unfortunate.
Jonathan to Nigerians, don't japa over hardship. Okay.
So what should
Nigerians would have a lot to say to this.
What should they japa on? For holiday?
Maybe just education.
Okay. And that would not be japa, and that's education. People only japa because of economic opportunities. Yeah.
So we have negative portrayal of Fulani unwarranted. Kano governor.
Okay.
Yeah, but this, I can get where he's coming from. The dragon. Well, we have Israel-Hamas truce. Displaced Gazians head home through rubbles. Like there's nothing like going home. That joy you get going home.
Home is, might be quite emotional for them, but then home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
That's home. Yeah. Irrespective of the situation.
Yeah. And we have tax bills for passage March. Presidential committee. Federal government reawards Abuja-Kaduna road contracts. And on the last story in the Daily Trust this morning, we have hardship, 70 million Nigerians to get 75,000 naira each. How? Please. Where are we getting it from, Femi, so I can go?
Well, I'm not sure you are qualified for the kind of people that needs to be given that, because they will say it's for the vulnerables. But then we'll wait to see how that will pan out. And then that will be it on the headline segment for today. 75,000 naira for 70 million people. Right. Okay. Wow.
That's
interesting. Okay. We take this break. We'll be back. Stay with us.